Greetings and salutations, my lovelies. Bardic Kitty here today with my good friend.
Hi, I'm Kloara.
And she's going to help me out today, and I'm going to do a scribble challenge, and she's going to be the one that's going to make a scribble for me. So, try not to make it too terrible.
Don't make a terrible scribble.
Don't make a terrible scribble.
It's literally...
I'm so scared. It's interesting to me that this is such a big, challenge thing, because we would get sheets of paper with something random printed on it that we'd have to turn into a drawing in, middle school. I was in, 6th and 7th grade, which I'll do the math on that and put it on the screen for you to know what years about that would have been. But needless to say, it's been a while, because I'm kind of old. But that's okay. And so it's interesting to me to see this as a big doing so many little things.
I'm working on
scary. I'm gonna have such a hard time with this. I haven't done something like this in a long time. Anyway, you just had to do that.
Do what?
To make it hard.
How is this hard? This is what I would do all the time, as a kid with my friends.
Yeah, I know. And that's what the Scribble Challenge is. It's about pushing boundaries and doing something that's difficult.
Yeah.
Can I rotate it? What are my rules?
Oh yeah, you can rotate it however you want.
Okay. Because this way I'm seeing his little eyes and nose. He's like a little grooving skull.
I see it.
So I think that might be what I'm gonna go with. But I might see if I can do some sketches to come up with something else. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me and for doing this. And in the future, you might hear more from Kloara. I know that I do have a collab that we've been working on that she totally did her line art for, and I've been bad and haven't done my line art for.
It's been months.
I'm sorry. I'll get it soon. So hopefully those videos will come in the near future, and maybe another project or two that we've been discussing lately. So we'll see that. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and get into the time-lapse, guys. Thank you again.
Nice meeting you.
Alright, so the first thing I did was use my lightbox to go ahead and trace out the basic lines, obviously not with the line thickness and everything, and so I did a few sheets of those and sketched out some different ideas, rotating the papers and kind of trying to come up with some different things. I had a lot of trouble with this actually, because I just couldn't not see the face that I pointed out earlier, and so I end up with 3 or 4 of them are some form of face shape. Though you'll see here that's a little grooving alien head, and then I go in here and do more of a close-up on an actual person's face, and you'll see a couple of the other ones here. I'll show them in a second. But yeah, like I said, it was really hard to kind of step away from that shape, and I wanted to try to come up with different options and different ideas, and there was one other one that I really liked that you'll see in a second, but I ended up going with one of them, the skull idea that I had. So here's one of the few things I did that wasn't directly face related. It was the mushrooms, then they had creepy eyes, and then you saw me draw those two, just a chick with some scars and tattoos and grooving floaty alien head, because, why not? And then this was the other one, it was really between these two, and so I wasn't entirely sure which orientation that one would be, but just a really pissed off duck or bird, just angry bird. And then this is what I went with. I did this kind of demon skull speared onto a spear, yeah, stuck on the end of a spear. And so I'm gonna jump right into the drawing here. I used, of course, my standard generic, yeah, a lot of people, in high school, college, I don't know, I had a lot of people who would try to tell me that, you couldn't draw with mechanical pencils because, there wasn't proper drawing, and you didn't, you didn't get the shading that you could, and it's just like, well, I mean, if I'm gonna like ink and color it anyway and I'm not going for shading, why can't I just use a mechanical pencil? Anyway, it's just one of those things that like I always thought was kind of funny. It's like, obviously I can draw with a mechanical pencil, so whatever. Anyway, so I sketched it out real quick. There was a bit of the footage missing there where I forgot to hit record again when I started sketching in the cracks, but overall, like, I kept futzing around with the background. Like, right now I've got some kind of generic little, like, mountainy shapes, and I end up going with the mountain idea, but they come out a little differently. And, yeah. This was an interesting challenge. Like, I went over some of the lines technically, like, I like thickened them or whatever, but the lines were still there. Like, the base lines were still there. I just, you know, like, changed the line weight in a few places or, you know, whatever. But I don't know, it's kind of fun. I kept not being able to see anything but that face, though, and I feel like I've failed because I should have been able to come up with a variety of different things. But at the same time, I also feel like it was a big success because I'm really happy with the piece when I get to the end of it. And I've been told that it reminds people of something that you'd see in like the old like 90s He-Man or something like that, you know, just like this like skull on a spear and it's got horns and I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and put on some music. I don't believe there's too much else I really need to say about it. Obviously, I use my Copic markers because I'm kind of obsessed with them, and I promise I will eventually do some videos where I use other types of medium. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you would like to see. I will hop back on for a little mini outro thing, and yep, I hope you have a nice time watching the rest of the video. so that is the completed piece. One thing I did with the background, if you didn't notice, you probably noticed if you're watching, obviously. So, sorry. Anyway, when I went in with the sky color, I actually did color over the middle mountain that is kind of back behind the other two, and that was to kind of give it more of an atmospheric look. That's something that I've learned more recently about the markers and really enjoy, is that you can kind of layer them, and the inks are slightly translucent, most of them, and you can kind of get some different effects like that. And with the mountains, I did just some kind of generic texture. I could have done better, like I could have really done like some studies and stuff, but for what it is, I feel like it worked out really well. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you again next week.